Forget 100% committed. I'm 1,000% committed. I do not care. I'm riding high on this sorry, sometimes sorry, college football team.
Good morning. Yes, Uncle Lou here. It's Saturday. It's football day. Whee! Yeah, sure that makes you all real excited, here. Thumbs up the video and let's watch, college game day. And I may even take a phone call or two during the commercials. I'll let you know. Don't start calling my phone now. We may take some calls during the commercials. We'll see. College game day live in Eugene, Oregon today for the Stanford, Oregon game tonight. You know where I found this cup at? Big Lots. We went out to eat yesterday at this place called, for those of you that are from the Augusta area or Evans, Pizza Central up in Evans. We went to eat there yesterday, and we needed dog food, and I didn't feel like going all the way to the grocery store, and there's a Big Lots right next door to that Pizza Central, so I said, well, I'll just run in this Pizza Central and get dog food, and then we can head home. And they had these cups in there. But don't worry, I got Mrs. Lou one too that says my husband knows everything, so good to go. Listen, I forgot to mention my locks of the week on video this week. I added them to the bottom of the crawl that's on here. Texas plus 3.5, Georgia minus 14.5. Remember, take anything I say about Georgia with a grain of salt, though. USC Junior minus 2, Northern Illinois plus 10.5. Until Florida State proves me wrong, I can't take them. Central Florida minus 13.5. Yes, I know they played yesterday, but I wrote these down, and I think that was a winner, though. Oregon plus 2. I think Oregon's going to win at home. I think they're going to beat Stanford. Boston College minus 7 and Pitt minus 3. So those are Lou's locks of the week. I'm 15 and 10 on the season so far. But wouldn't it suck to live on the West Coast? You know it's 6 a.m. out there. So you got to show up. If this is a West Coast game, they got to get up here. So really, to get a good spot, you got to get there probably about 4 a.m. That's ridiculous. But how y'all doing today, though? Y'all ready for an exciting day of college football? I am. What's your TV watching schedule today? I always try to plan that out. Of course, the Georgia game comes on at noon, so I'm going to watch the Georgia game at noon. But what are the good 3:30 games today? What's the 3:30 CBS game today? Is it Alabama and Texas A&M, or is it Florida and Kentucky? Oh no, Kentucky is a night game. It must be Alabama and Texas A&M. If that's the case, I'll probably watch that one. Oh, okay, thank you. Keep it 100. Yeah, Oregon and Stanford, that comes on tonight. I think that's the 8 o'clock ABC game. I think. You know what? Let me just pull up the schedule on my phone and we'll talk about it. Like MJ, what's his name? MJC, MGQ. What's his name? The guy that got murdered by Eminem? Let's talk about it. All right, let's pull the schedule up here. All right. At noon, of course, I'm going to watch Georgia and Missouri. Other good games or interesting games, Nebraska and Michigan. That one comes on at noon too. Michigan's a huge favorite. I think I picked Nebraska to cover in that game, but I do think Michigan will win. Boston College and Purdue comes on at noon. Purdue is winless. Boston College is undefeated. Why is this only a 6.5 point spread? I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I think Boston College wins that game easily. Notre Dame at Wake Forest. Here's an upset alert game here. That one's at 12. Notre Dame at Wake Forest. A lot of people are putting Notre Dame on upset alert. I think it's an overreaction to last week's Vanderbilt game. I think Notre Dame wins that one. What else is at 12? Pittsburgh and North Carolina. I took Pitt in that one. North Carolina's just a terrible team. Somebody asked me in the comment section about Louisville and Virginia. I didn't preview that game, but I told them in the comment section I would probably take Louisville in an upset. It looks like Virginia's about a 5-point favorite in that one, but I'll stick with what I said in the comment section and take Louisville, I guess. All right, on to the 3 o'clock games here. Northern Illinois at Florida State. I already told you. I think Northern Illinois wins that one, or covers. I mean, it's a 10.5 point spread. Florida State's a 10.5 point favorite. I took Northern Illinois and 10.5 as one of my locks this week. Oh, Clemson and Georgia Tech though at 3:30. I've been begging every Clemson fan I can find to please let this be their Syracuse game this year. Please let Georgia Tech win this game. Listen, it's not going to matter, okay? Clemson is going 12-0 in the regular season, so if they drop a game and they're 11-1, they're still going to roll into Charlotte with a trip to the playoffs on the line. So I need Paul Johnson to keep his job in a bad way. I need the Taters to do me a favor and drop this game today. I don't see it happening, though. But that one's at 3:30. FIU and Miami. Miami's got a couple of blowout wins after getting curb stomped week 1 against LSU. They're a huge favorite this week. Almost 4 touchdowns. Ohio State and Tulane. Ohio State's does that say 37? Jesus. Ohio State 37-point favorite, and that one they'll kill Tulane. Kansas State and West Virginia. Some people think this will be a good game. Look, I told you in the offseason, I'm not buying on Kansas State this year. A lot of Big 12 homers wanted to cry in the comment section and tell me how good of a coach Skeletor was. That Bill Snyder guy looks like Skeletor. He's 111 years old. I'm not buying it. They got beat pretty good by Mississippi State. I think West Virginia has a field day today. It's a home game for West Virginia. West Virginia's favored by 16. I should have took this as a lock of the week. I think West Virginia wins by more than 16. West Virginia could win this game by 4 touchdowns. I should have put that as a lock of the week. I guess it's too late to add it now, but I don't see that game being close at all. Also at 3:30, of course, Texas A&M and Alabama. Alabama's a 26-point favorite. I probably wouldn't bet this game. I don't know what to make of Texas A&M yet. They blow out some nobodies. A moral victory against Clemson where they only lost by 2 at home. But, I mean, that was just like a huge game with a crazy atmosphere. Night game. This one's on the road at Alabama. Alabama's been scoring at will against everybody they play. Kellen Mond looked really good against Clemson, but does Texas A&M really have as good of a passing game as Ole Miss? I don't think so, and Ole Miss couldn't pass the ball on Alabama, so I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Alabama's going to win this game by more than 26, but after what I've seen, there's no way I could pick against them, so I would just avoid that game. Kansas and Baylor. Kansas coming off a huge win over Rutgers. I think Baylor beats them, though. Let's see, 4 o'clock game, South Carolina and Vandy. This is a good game, too, and another one that I think is an overreaction from last week's Notre Dame game. Vanderbilt played a great game. They outplayed Notre Dame. They should have won that game. They didn't. South Carolina game last week was canceled, so South Carolina's last game, they got blown out by Georgia. So I think this is a classic case of overreaction here. I clearly think South Carolina is a better team than Vandy. I bet you in the offseason this spread was at least 2 touchdowns. I always want Vanderbilt to win when they're not playing Georgia, just because I want Jared to get some wins. Jared from the comment section, most of you guys know him, and he's a diehard Vanderbilt fan and a pretty good guy. So I always want him to get a win, but I just don't see Vanderbilt winning this game. It is at Vandy. We'll see. Will Muschamp works for UGA, so I don't know what we told Will Muschamp to do. I don't know if we told him to win or lose this week, but I'm gonna roll with the Gamecocks in that one. Arizona at Oregon State. What a boring game that'll be. What happened to Khalil Tate? I thought he was a Heisman contender. Wrong. Heisman pretender. Oregon State not any good either. Arizona's about a 5-point favorite in that one. If you make me pick a winner, I'll take Arizona. TCU and Texas, another one that a lot of people are looking for an upset. I took Texas in the points in this one. How many points was it? 3.5? I don't know. Listen, Texas may come out and crap the bed like they did against Maryland, or they may play a good game like they did against Southern Cal. I don't know. I rolled the dice on that one and took Texas to cover. Night game, 7 o'clock, Mississippi State and Kentucky. Now, this is one I'll keep an eye on tonight for sure. This will be a good game. Two undefeated teams here. Kentucky's sort of a surprise team after beating Florida a couple of weeks ago. Benny Snell, a really, really good running back. If Benny Snell played on any other team in the SEC, probably besides Kentucky, you'd hear a lot more about him, I think. He's really good. Mississippi State has a great defensive front. Was that Montez Sweat? Is that his name? He's the real deal. Nick Fitzgerald. He's going to try to run the ball, I'm sure, tonight. He's not an elite passer, but he can pass when he needs to. I think that'll be a pretty good game. I'm kind of surprised. Mississippi State is a 9.5-point favorite. And I think when I previewed this game on Tuesday, they were a 10-point favorite, and I took Kentucky in the points. This wouldn't surprise me. It's at Kentucky. This wouldn't surprise me if this was a close game. Kentucky's on a roll. Now, Kentucky, though, here's Kentucky's problem. Kentucky has a history of getting a big win, a win you didn't think they would get, like the Florida win this year, and then coming out and falling flat on their face. Is that what happens here? It's a home game. I'm going to go with Kentucky and take the points. And to be honest, it wouldn't shock me if Kentucky won this game, although I'm not confident enough to pick them in an upset here, but I do think it stays closer than 10 points. Hound Dog, thank you. Cheer and fight with all your might for Tennessee. I am a Tennessee fan tonight. I told you guys that. You guys don't forget. Remember Catfish today. He's still down and out. I'm going to pull for Tennessee tonight just for him. And the link to the GoFundMe is still in the description. It's in the description of this video. If you guys wanted to donate and haven't had a chance to now, please click the link in the description of this video for the GoFundMe for Catfish from Volunteer Roadshow. A lot of you know who he is. If you don't, he's a Tennessee fan. He's got a YouTube channel, the Volunteer Roadshow. He's a trucker, and he was involved in a serious accident a couple of days ago, and he's in the hospital. He's going to be out of work for a while. Even when he gets healthy, his truck's going to have to get repaired and stuff like that. And in the trucking business, if you're not driving, you're not getting paid. So we're trying to help him out. Every little bit helps. I don't want people to not donate because they're like, well, I can only do $5 or $10, and that's what's the point? Listen, if 100 of you donated $5 or $10, that would be $500 to $1,000. So. And a big shout out to those of you who have already donated too. It's up over $500 now in just over 24 hours. So I really appreciate that. But if there's any way you can help, click that GoFundMe link. Read the story on the GoFundMe page, and if you find it in your heart to help him out, please do, and we would appreciate it. But yeah, Florida at Tennessee. Now I did pick Florida to win this game earlier in the week when I did the preview. I still think Florida will win. I took Tennessee in the points, though, because I think it's going to be a close game. But in light of what's happened with Catfish and all that, I will be pulling for Tennessee. Now, and I've talked to Catfish, so he understands this is no low blow or anything like that. Whoever loses this game will be getting a video made about him as soon as it's over of me laughing for 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, that's just what it is. You guys know the routine. Louisiana Tech at LSU. LSU will kill them. Army at Oklahoma. Oklahoma will kill them. Texas Tech at Oklahoma State. This could be a good game. Oklahoma State's a couple of touchdown favorite. I think it'll be closer than that. NC State and Marshall. Michigan State and Indiana. Why is Michigan State only a 4.5-point favorite over Indiana? Something seems fishy there. I know Michigan State hasn't looked as good as everybody thought they would, but come on. Arkansas at Auburn. Auburn will win by a lot to a little. Arkansas is a pitiful, pitiful team right now. And Stanford at Oregon. Yeah, that's an 8 o'clock game at Oregon. Stanford's favored by a couple of points. I'm taking Oregon in that one. Wisconsin and Iowa. Here's another upset special, right? Iowa's a hard place to play, Lou. Iowa State's a hard place to play too, Lou. You listen, you don't just go anywhere in Iowa to play football and think you're just going to walk out with a win. Wisconsin, I think, will walk out with a win here. I'm sorry. I know they lost last week and looked pretty bad against the BYU team. I'm going to bet that was a wake-up call. It's the first regular season game they've lost in 2 years. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm taking Wisconsin in that one. Arizona State at Washington. Washington's up to an 18-point favorite now. That was 17 earlier in the week, so people putting some money on Washington. I think Arizona State can keep it closer than that, although I'd be surprised if they won, especially since it's on the road at Washington. And that's pretty much it. So that's the rundown for today. So, I'll watch the Georgia game at noon. I'll watch a lot of that Texas A&M and Alabama game at 3:30. I'll keep an eye on Kansas State and West Virginia, too. What else? Clemson and Georgia Tech. Although I don't expect that to be much of a game, I'll keep an eye on it. But I'll mainly be watching the Texas A&M Bama game at 3:30. And then tonight, I'll be watching mainly the Florida-Tennessee game, but I'll be doing a lot of flipping around with Mississippi State and Kentucky, Stanford and Oregon. I'll be flipping around. I have 2 TVs out here, so that helps. But anyway, what's up in the comment section? Which picks did I get right or wrong? What's y'all's upset pick this week? Let me know. Y'all thumbs up the video if you're watching it too. Let's get more people in here. Watson, you gonna take Wake Forest over Notre Dame? I hear you. It's a popular upset pick today. Look at Small and Nappy buying into the it's hard to play at Iowa hype. I'm not buying it, man. Crow King, upset pick. Oregon beats Stanford. Yeah, I got Oregon at home too. UJ versus Missouri. I missed it. It scrolled too fast. Thank you, Harrison. I appreciate that. Always heats up in the first. And then MU. We talking about Michigan? Isn't that UM? I don't know. I could be wrong. Michigan's going to dominate Nebraska. Nebraska has looked really bad this year, so I wouldn't be completely shocked if that's what happens. KP, you think Kentucky's going to beat Mississippi State, huh? It'd be a huge win for Kentucky, no doubt about it. A huge win. Wade says Oregon over Stanford. LSU Tiger says Tennessee going to lose all SEC games again. That Florida-Tennessee game is interesting because whoever loses that game is in a world of hurt. I mean, both those programs are bad anyway. It's not like winning this game is going to turn either one of those seasons around or whatever. But the loser of this game is in real bad shape. I mean, Florida has lost 7 games in a row to Power 5 teams. Tennessee has lost 9 games in a row to Power 5 teams. Tennessee hasn't beaten an SEC team since November of 2016. Florida lost to Kentucky this year for the first time in 31 years. If Dan Mullen comes to Florida and his first 2 SEC games are a loss to Kentucky and a loss to a terrible Tennessee game, that's a horrible, horrible start for Dan Mullen, and there's really no way to sugarcoat that even if you're a Florida fan. If you're a Tennessee fan, you bring Pruitt in, You get humiliated week 1 by a 500 average Big 12 team. You beat 2 cupcakes week 2 and 3. Now you have your first SEC game at home. A lot of pressure on Tennessee to snap that SEC game losing streak. They've lost 9 straight SEC games dating back to 2016, 0-8 last year. Tennessee loses, they're sitting at 2-2, and their next 4 games are Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina. If Tennessee loses today, they're very likely starting the season 2-6. Florida also has to turn around next week and play on the road at Mississippi State. So, Florida loses, they're staring down the barrel of 3 straight SEC losses to start the year, because I don't think they're beating Mississippi State. This is Florida's best chance for a win is today. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that game, because somebody's team is going to be in real bad shape when that game ends tonight. Small Nappy, Bryce Love's going to run the ball more than Herbert will complete passes. Man, what's up with him, Nappy? Can he stay healthy or not? All last year this guy was limping around. I know he played most of the year, even though he was hurt or whatever. But he sat out last week, with the famous quote unquote or the infamous undisclosed injury. I know he's supposed to play today, but is he 100%? Can he play the whole game? This guy can't stay healthy, Bryce Love. He's one of the most talented players in all of college football, but this guy, this guy can't stay off the, he can't stay out of the infirmary ward. Oh, Waikiki, thank you. Is Florida State going to fire Willie Taggart if FSU goes 2-10? It would not surprise me. And I know it's very rare for a coach to get fired in his first year, but listen, they may be looking down the road at Lane Kiffin and going, if we don't act now, we may miss the chance on that. I don't know. It's very unusual for a coach to get fired after 1 year, though. But if it goes really bad, like 2-10, it's possible. Uncle Luke says 12 o'clock, Wake Forest and Notre Dame or Georgia and Missouri. 3:30, Texas A&M and Alabama. 7 o'clock, Tennessee, Florida. 8 o'clock, Oregon, Stanford. Yeah, that's pretty close to what I'll be watching today, too. Watson says, I can't believe I thought Michigan would make the playoffs, and now it's obvious that Ohio State is winning it. Yeah, I don't think I didn't I didn't pick Michigan to make the playoffs, but I picked them to go 10-2. So it doesn't look like that's happening. Mikey's picking Northern Illinois to beat Florida State outright. Boy, what a disaster. What a disaster that would be. Oh, they're talking about on game day right now. Did they make the wrong decision hiring Willie Taggart? They just predicted him to go 4-8. Thank you, Hound Dog. I appreciate that. And I finally talked to Catfish last night for the first time since starting this GoFundMe page, and he wanted me to tell y'all how thankful he is for everything that everybody is doing to help him, not just with the money, but all the kind words and stuff that people have left in the comment section on his YouTube channel and all that. He's on a lot of pain medicine, so he's not able to respond to everybody individually or anything like that, but he'll get around to that, I'm sure. But I talked to him, and he's very appreciative of everything that everybody is doing for him. Eric Johnson. Oh, you're in Creswell Hall? Well, go Dogs, sir. Does Nebraska have any chance to keep it close today? If Adrian Martinez can have a big game, then maybe. But there's another guy that's been hurt early in the year, so I don't know. Nebraska just has not looked good. Nebraska, UCLA, Florida State. That's not what this start of the season is not what those fan bases expected. SSL says, upset pick Purdue over Boston College. Is that Purdue? Yeah, that would be something serious because Purdue is winless and Boston College is undefeated. So that would be something serious if Purdue won that game. Yeah, Watson. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people find these football channels on here and they see us talking trash and arguing with each other in the comment section and stuff like that, or they see me making a video making fun of Tennessee or something, and they think we're all just assholes, excuse my language, or something. And I try to tell people all the time, look, okay, this is your first video or whatever. This one might make you mad, but stick around. Like we don't hate each other, We're just passionate college football fans, and trash talk's just a part of what we do. But what you're saying is right. I mean, the college football fans, I mean, it's like a huge extended family on here. And usually if people are able to stick around for more than a week, they start to get it, what we do here. And a lot of times they even end up appreciating it or enjoying it even. As crazy as that sounds. Boosted Gaming, good morning, sir. Thanks for watching the stream this morning. Georgia Tech 28, Clemson 3. What? Man, come on, Joe. Sir Kilday, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining the stream. How bad will Arkansas lose to Auburn, 56-7? It could be something like that. I don't know. You know what? Someone brought this to my attention the other day. Gus Malzahn, you have to remember, has a lot of ties to Arkansas. He may find it in his heart to have some mercy on them and not run the score up. We'll see. But Auburn is definitely 40 points better, no doubt. LSU versus Georgia in a few weeks. LSU looked weak at the barn. I don't know what LSU team you were watching, sir. That was Auburn's first home loss in like 13. They had won like 13 straight at home. Auburn is not an easy team to beat at home. I mean, offensively, LSU isn't setting the world on fire, but they're getting decent quarterback play from Burrows. I like that Brissett running back they got. The defense is always going to be good. Greedy Williams is unbelievable in the secondary. They've got stars at all three levels on that defense. That's not going to be an easy game for UGA to go into LSU and win that game. That's not going to be easy. Wisconsin plays at Iowa today, Mike Reiser. I think they're about a 3-point favorite. Mississippi State 45-17 over Kentucky. That would shock me. That would shock me if it was that bad of a beatdown. Whatever to watch says, I think Whitlow is who Auburn is going to run into the ground this year. Auburn's got a problem because they don't have a Kerryon Johnson or a Cam Petaway on this team. Whitlow and Cam Martin, neither one are the big bruising downhill between the tackle 25 times a game type running backs that Johnson and Petaway were, and not even Johnson and Petaway were able to make it through an entire season doing that. So if that's Auburn's plan, is to try to make one of those guys run the ball 20 or 25 times between the tackles like they did with Petaway and Johnson, those guys won't make it through the season either. Auburn, you can tell when you watch Auburn play this year, they're really missing that true go-to downhill bruiser type running back that they've had over the last couple of years. Does Stove still play for Auburn? Didn't he get kicked off the team? I think they had a couple of receivers got kicked off the team, I think, in the offseason. And then what's up with Auburn? Had 3 players quit this week. What's up with that? They had 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Didn't they just quit this week? Pitiful. The barn is burning, I think. I don't know. There's trouble on the plains, looks like to me. Yeah, Nate Craig Myers, he's the one that left this week. Another wide receiver and a tight end also left this week, too. Just straight quit. Yeah, Bryce Love's not a big guy. Jonathan Taylor, I think, is a little bigger, but Bryce Love, he's more of a scat back type of thing. Bryce Love would be a third down back in the NFL. He won't be an every down back. He's not like a Todd Gurley. LSU's schedule is brutal. Who does Tennessee have on offense? Tennessee has a running back that they really like, and it's not Ty Chandler. It's the other guy. If there's a Tennessee fan in the comments section, you can let us know who it is. I think his name is Banks. And Tennessee fans are real high on this guy. Now, he's looked good against a couple of, let's just be real, against a couple of nobodies. So we'll see how he does today against Florida. Florida's defense nowhere near what it was a few years ago during the Muschamp years and even the first couple of years under Muschamp. But I think this will still be the best defense that Florida has seen. West Virginia doesn't have much of a defense, and those two middle school teams they play don't have much of a defense. So this will be the best defense they've seen. So we'll have to see how that running back does today. Does Tennessee make a bowl game if they beat Florida? If they beat Florida, they're still losing their next 4 games, in my opinion. So they'd be sitting at 3 wins and, 5 losses. So they would have to win 3 of their last 4. One of those 4 is a high school team. That's 1. So they'd have to win, 1 out of 3 against Mizzou, Vandy, and Kentucky. So maybe. No, I'm not trying to say Florida's got a great defense, LSU Tigers. What I'm saying is Florida has the best defense that Tennessee has played this year. How about them Hogs? Says Georgia 51, Missouri 14. I think I said 40. What did I say? 45-20. I'll stick with that. Missouri scored more points on us last year than any other team besides Oklahoma in the first Auburn game. So we struggled against Drew Lock last year in the first half. Now we made some adjustments at halftime and completely shut him down in the second half. But we'll see. We'll see how he looks this year against us. At home for Missouri this year as opposed to on the road last year. Maybe that helps him some. So I went with 45-20, I believe, is what I ended up with on the Georgia game. Tennessee's going to get beat by 40 points at least to Alabama. That game just will not be close at all. Good morning, Topher. Thanks for watching. Go Dogs. James Stusak, what's up, buddy? I do one I'm. What do you call it when you run the league? I'm the commissioner, I guess. I have one fantasy football league that I've been doing for years. So yeah, I do fantasy football, but I only do that one league. I don't do any others because I used to do 2 or 3 fantasy football leagues a year, and what happened with me anyway is all 3 of my teams in the leagues were terrible because I didn't have enough time to really do any of them the right way. So now I just do the one fantasy football league. We do it. It's a 12 it's a 12-person league. We do a $50 buy-in, so the pot is $600 and top 3 places pay out at the end of the year. Uncle Luke says, if Tennessee beats Florida today, will you laugh into the camera and call out Lance and Jack? Listen, I'm just, normally I don't know which games I'll be doing a reaction video to throughout the day on Saturday. I guarantee you I will be doing a reaction video to the Florida-Tennessee game as soon as it's over. Guaranteed. Whoever loses that game is in the gutter for the rest of the season, and I'm going to let them know that as soon as that game ends. I guarantee you. And if it's Florida that loses, I may have something to say about Lance. I don't know. You have to remember, I don't plan these things out. Okay. Now, the previews and the prediction videos that I do. Yeah, I do some research on those. I sit down, I look at the teams and blah, blah, and all that. The reaction videos, the post-game Georgia videos, the halftime Georgia videos, the trash-talking videos that I do on Fridays, like the hype and hate videos, to come get you some of this videos, the reaction videos on Saturday. I don't plan anything out. I literally hit record and just start yelling, and whatever comes out, comes out. So I don't know. If I happen to mention something about Lance if Florida loses, then so be it. But I really have no idea what'll come out of my mouth until it comes out. FD Kid 1, do you think Hardman will run another punt back for a touchdown today? Listen, anybody that's dumb enough to kick the ball to McCole Hardman is giving him a very good chance to run it back. He's one of the most exciting players in college football. And I'll tell you this right now, if he keeps scoring touchdowns at the wide receiver position at the rate he's scoring them now, and he can end the regular season with 5 or 6 return touchdowns, he should be a Heisman candidate. Next year, college fantasy league for Patreon members. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. I'm always looking, and that goes, thank you, Waikiki, but that goes to all of the Patreon members, I'm always looking for more ideas and more ways to reward you guys for supporting me over on the Patreon page. By the way, since he brought it up, there's a link in the description that'll take you to my Patreon page. It says, want to support the channel and win a jersey. Click that link. It'll take you over to the UNCLELOU Patreon page. And if you enjoy the show, if you like the channel and you're able to support the channel, I would appreciate it. But Waikiki, I'm always looking for more ways to show my appreciation for you guys over on the Patreon page. So for you and any of the other Patreon members that are watching, if you ever have an idea, something you want me to do for y'all, or an idea of a way I can make it more enticing or whatever for people over there, please let me know. You all have my email address. Email me. I'm always very open to suggestions, whether it comes to video suggestions or Patreon suggestions or whatever. So y'all make sure you let me know. Combat Pro God Legend says, Mizzou gonna win, don't at me. I don't think anyone would at you for that, sir, most likely just to ignore it. Sir Kilday says LSU will beat Florida. That sounds like a pretty good prediction to me. Do a broken TV giveaway? You know, I did give away pieces. That TV that I broke after the Georgia Tech game in 2016, I did give away pieces of that TV. I did. The following year at the Georgia spring game, some people had asked me about it and wanting to meet up with me up there or whatever, and so I have like one of those Georgia drawstring bags that I carry stuff around with, you know, when you go to the game or whatever, and I had pieces of the broken TV in there, and people actually wanted it, so yes. Jeremy Pruitt and Kirby Smart are not as similar as Tennessee fans like to think. I mean, I would agree with that in general. Just because two people are good defensive coordinators and one of them has became a good head coach, that doesn't automatically mean that the other one is going to become a good head coach. Doesn't mean he's not either. I mean, you just don't know about Jeremy Pruitt. You got to give the guy a little bit of time. Hey, y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to go refill this coffee. I'll be right back, though. All right, good morning, though. Yeah. I had to do that. Oh, man, KP says he's ready for some cool weather. Man, I'm so sick. It's still 95 degrees here every day. I looked at the weather thing the other day, and it's supposed to be 90 degrees every day again this coming week. But in the next week, there's no days in the 90s. So I'm hoping after this coming week, the 90-degree weather will be over here. This is getting ridiculous. I couldn't agree with you more, sir. I am ready for some cool weather. Should Jalen Hurts play today? If he does, he can't transfer and play immediately. Can't you play 4 games in a season and he's played 3? Or is it calendar year? So they're counting the playoff games. I don't get that. Why is today the day? Can't, because I know it's 4 games and you can still redshirt. And he's played in 3 this season because they've only played 3 games, right? Unless it counts the last games too. I don't know. But if it counts the playoff games, then he's already played in more than 4 because he played on January 1st and he played on January 8th. Okay, Ace, yeah, that's what I thought. He can play in 1 more. Yeah. Yeah, so he can play today without burning his red shirt, is my understanding. I mean, I guess I could be wrong, but I think he can. I think he could still play today. Besides the dogs, what's my game of the week? I think Florida Tennessee is the most interesting game. Obviously I don't think that's the best game, but I think that's the most interesting game. Texas A&M and Alabama. Everybody's waiting to see if anybody can give Alabama a close game. I think Oregon Stanford is probably the best game. I mean, that's what two top 20 teams there. Notre Dame on the road is interesting because some people are picking that as an upset. So I don't know. There's a few interesting games. Where will Hurts transfer to? Michigan? ? I really have no idea where. Listen, I know what Hurts' dad said in the offseason, about how if he transfers, he'll be the hottest free agent in the history of college football. I honestly don't know who would want Jalen Hurts as quarterback. I mean, him and his dad both made it very clear. They're not interested in playing any other position. They want to play quarterback, and I just don't know who would want him. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I just don't. I don't think he's a good quarterback. Yet, can he run around some? Yes. I don't think he can read defenses and make decisions and progress through reads and stuff like that at the division. It's back on. Just reset it. Hurts to Georgia Tech. I mean, maybe, but see, I get the feeling that Hurts really believes he's not only a college quarterback but an NFL quarterback. So I don't know why he would go to Georgia Tech where he's only going to throw the ball 5 or 6 times a game at most. I mean, I don't understand what he's thinking. It makes no sense to me. I mean, obviously, I've never been in that position or whatever, but it seems to me if I was a sophomore or junior at a major college program and had aspirations of going to the NFL, I would be listening to people who make those decisions, like coaches, scouts, things like that. And I haven't seen anybody say they think Hurts has NFL potential at the quarterback position. So I would be more than willing to change positions if I was in Jalen Hurts' situation. But I've never been in that situation, so I realize I can't say that for sure. But I would think if my goal was to get to the NFL, I would listen to the people whose job it is to make those types of decisions. Mad Dog says, any new Lou merchandise coming soon, sir? I don't know. That the Uncle Lou store hasn't been updated in a while. There's a link down in the description for that too if you guys want to check it out. I think it says you want a LouTube hat or shirt, but I don't know. There's 4 or 5 different kinds of shirts in there, and hoodies, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, hats. But I don't think there's been a new design added to that thing in 6 or 7 months probably. 19 Savage, good morning, sir. Thank you for the love, brother. Yeah, he could thrive in the triple option, but it doesn't seem like that's what he wants to do. He wants to prove he can be an NFL quarterback, and so that means to me he's got to go somewhere where he can throw the ball. Garantano or Franks, I don't think either one of them are very good, but I think Garantano has a better game today than Franks. But I did pick Florida to win though. There's nothing I can do about the available sizes. I don't know what it goes up to, 2X or 3X, but I can't do anything about the available sizes. Will you do a video with Bobby Durkins? I don't know how I would do a video with him. To my knowledge, he doesn't live in Augusta, Georgia, so I'm not sure how we would do a video together. I do like Bobby, though. He's hilarious. Hurts might pay attention to Tim Tebow. Yeah, and Tebow couldn't make it in the NFL, and Tebow was a better passer than Hurts. Not that Tebow's a good passer, but he's a better passer than Hurts. FaceTime. What do you mean, with Durkins? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't usually do stuff like that. I mean, I like to watch other YouTubers' shows, and I don't know if if they do a live show or something with call-ins, I'll call in every once in a while and stuff like that. But I don't know about doing like a FaceTime thing. I don't know about that. I mean, if he wants me to do something with him on his channel or whatever, and he asks me, I would hear him out. I would listen to what he had to say, but. Yeah, I know TJ LSU Dad. He's been on the Uncle Lou show. I've had him as a guest on the Uncle Lou show before, the 3 o'clock show. He was one of the first guests I had when we started that 3 o'clock show. Yeah. I'll have plenty to say for him here in a couple of weeks. Uncle Lou, could BVD and you do a live stream? Well, I live stream, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I live stream 6 times a week. And he's welcome to come on anytime. When I first started YouTube, BVD had a live show that he was doing on YouTube where he was taking phone calls and stuff. And I used to call into his show all the time. And then I had one for a little while, too, with another Georgia YouTuber who doesn't do YouTube anymore. His name was Magnum, if any of you guys remember him. We had a Georgia show for a while, too. But, I mean, I like BVD. I answer the I can't read every question. It's not if I read a question, I answer it. I don't read it and then ignore it. It's just I don't have time to read every single question. So, like for example, instead of typing answer a UGA question, Jesus, you could have asked the question because that happened to be one of the comments that I read. Answer a UGA question, Jesus. But now I don't know what the question was, so I can't answer it. Sooner Ace, it was kind of a fluke that I got those seats. I decided to go to the game, blah, blah, blah. Bama Guy says LSU Dad's the biggest crybaby ever. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Hokie Tiger, best defensive coordinator, top 5. I like the guy at Virginia Tech. I like the guy at Auburn. Kevin Steele, is that his name? And Bud Foster at Virginia Tech. I like Mel Tucker at UGA. We're probably going to lose him. It wouldn't surprise me if we lose him after this year, honestly. Lee Smith says, do you think they might actually implement D-Rob? No. I mean, I'm tired. Every week I'm like, okay, this is the week. We're going to actually throw the ball. We're going to actually let D-Rob catch a pass. We're going to actually do some downfield passing. We're going to actually get the tight ends involved. And every week I'm disappointed. So I'm not going to expect that anymore. And if anything like that happens to happen, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I expect us to come out, dominate the game in the first half by running the ball, throw a few 5-yard curls and some hitch routes, maybe a jet sweep to Miko Hardman. And then in the second half, they'll put Justin Fields in and let him hand off to Brian Harrion 35 times, and that'll be it. That's what I'm going to expect until I see something different. Because expecting something different and then not getting it is making me mad, and then I come on video and I rant and rave, and Georgia fans get pissed off about it. So I'm just not going to expect to see a downfield passing game. I'm not going to expect Georgia to get any sacks today. I'm not going to expect Georgia to knock the quarterback down today. I'm not going to expect us to get any QB hurries. That way, when it doesn't happen, I'm not disappointed. 4 SEC teams in top 10 after today. Could have 5 SEC teams in the top 10 here in the next week or two. You could have Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, and Mississippi State all in the top 10 here in the next week or two. Uncle Lou, do you ever shop at Ollie's? I've never even heard of Ollie's. I don't know what that is. KP says, Lou, do you think you'll hit 20,000 subs by the end of the college football season? Probably not. I think I'm at 12,000 and something now, so it would be hard to. Now I would love it if that happened. Hey, good morning. Yeah, Lou Ann comes out here to get something out of the refrigerator and tells you guys good morning. She has one of her little friends over here spending the night. Guess what her friend is? A bandwagon bubblegum gump, though. You are a bandwagon fan because your parents are Georgia fans. Your whole family is Georgia fans. And you're a Gump fan for no reason.
No, I have family in Alabama. We used to go there.
What's your quarterback's last name?
Jalen Hurts.
She said Jalen Hurts. See?
There's 2 different ones. What's the starter?
What's up?
You want grilled cheese?
Lou Jr. come out here and asked me if I want a grilled cheese. What time is it? Yeah, I'll eat a grilled cheese, man. Thank you. Don't burn it. Lou Jr.'s good people.
Yes, I am.
Courtney Smith says you chose to help the abuser and to enable the abuser. What's your response to that personal part?
All right, I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it. It's almost 10 o'clock. Me and Lou Jr. are going to get haircuts this morning before the Georgia game at 12. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll be uploading videos all throughout the day. Don't worry. I'll have a Georgia halftime video. I'll have a Georgia post-game video. And then I'll have reaction videos throughout the day to any other games that I feel like I need to react to. So there'll be several videos uploaded today for you guys to enjoy. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget Catfish's Volunteer Roadshow's GoFundMe link is in the description of this video. If there's any way you guys can help out at all, please do that. And I'll see you guys throughout the day today. Thanks for watching and have a good morning.